us a little bit late, so got it. Okay, thanks. So I think you all know Stacy and I, but maybe not. Just for some of our guests, I'm Christina Taylor. I'm the Youth Services Project Coordinator here at the Commission for Libraries, and I have been on the Youth Services side for about 5 years and was with the Commission for 5 years before that as a grants officer. So I've been here about 10. Now let Stacy introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy Shaw with the Commission for Libraries Youth Services Consultant, focusing in on early learning. And I've been here for about, over 15 years. So, yay.
So we'll just do a quick intro of everyone in the room. How about we'll start with all of our Laundromat people first, and then when we get to the IDPTV people, they can introduce themselves, and then when they're finished, they can take off and tell us what they want to share with us today. So I'm going to call on Catherine because she's nodding her head, and then you can call on someone.
Wonderful. I am Catherine Lopez-Luker, and this is actually, I'm starting my 20th year at the library, amazingly enough. And I live in Pocatello, and I'm going to the Marshall Public Library. And we're in the middle. I don't know if you can see this, but behind me there's a gray wall. We're doing a big remodeling project, building a steam room, but not a sauna kind of steam room. But anyway, that's me. And let's see, I call on Lindsay.
I'm Lindsay Russell. I'm the new director at the Chalice Public Library. Been here since May. So you guys have a little bit of time on me, I guess. I don't really know who else is from the library and who else is from.
Oh, right. How about go with Twin Falls?
There we go. How about Twin Falls? Miss Katie.
I'm not sure what we're doing, but I'm Katie. I'm here from Twin Falls, and our public library has a Laundromat literacy center. We've had it since December of 2021, I think it was.
Yep, we're just doing quick intros, and if you could call on someone to go next, and we're going to have our public television guests go last. So call on someone from a library.
Catherine, has Catherine gone yet?
I did, but I could go again. I'm Catherine. Call on somebody else though.
Okay. I really don't know where to go from here.
That's okay. I'll take over. How about Monique from Caldwell Public?
Hello, I'm Monique. I'm the Outreach Services Librarian for Caldwell Public Library. We've had a laundromat literacy center for a little while now. We do a story time once a month, and we have a very good team that I think we share with Garden City. A good laundromat. There we go, partnership. So they're really great and they're very supportive. So we kind of just run things by with them, and they help us out as much as possible. They really believe in the community. So. Oh, right. Has anyone not gone yet? If you have, raise your hand.
This is Jamie.
One of you. Okay. Thanks.
Go from Jamie from Priest Lake. I'm a director, and I think we've had our literacy center over a year now. I feel like it's been over a year. And it's going awesome. Lene, no, you're here to speak to us.
Well, Julie.
Julie. I was gonna say Julie. Go ahead, Julie.
All right. I'm Julie Newhouse. I'm in the Boundary County Library up in Bonners Ferry. I'm pretty new. I'm just part-time. I started in January. My youngest finally went to kindergarten, and little part-time job, but I love the library. We're working on getting one going, so I'm here to learn about it, and we're gonna get a center first in the Connexu Health Clinic is where we're going.
Yes, and Julie was who I was saying I invited her just 2 hours ago because we were just up there visiting. In fact, I visited Jamie up in Priest Lake, and then I drove down and around and visited Julie up in Bonners Ferry. So it was quite the day. And so Julie is our newest library partner. She doesn't have our center yet. We're gonna ship it out hopefully next week. So that's why the last minute invite, because we just finalized things. So she's here to mostly listen and learn. And then let's see, I know, I'm not sure, Lindsay, can you remind me what library you're from? And do you want, Garden City, right. Lindsay, do you want to do a quick hello?
Yes,
And
hello.
then, hi.
From Garden City. Sorry, I jumped in a little late here, but yeah, we've had our thing at the laundromat for a year and a half now, I think. So things are going well.
Then our last, I think, library person is Beth from Idaho Falls, right?
Yep, Idaho Falls. So we have the stuff in our back. One of these days we will get a laundromat to go with us on it. It's a work in progress. We're working on it.
Hey, great. Well, thanks for joining us. So now, Carrie, I'll let you guys take it over and you can do your intros in whichever order you want. And then the folks from public television are going to share with us some resources that they want to make sure that all of y'all know about.
Hi there. Okay, so I will introduce myself and tell you a little bit about what we're going to do, and then these guys can introduce themselves and tell you what regions they cover so that you guys know who to reach out to. I'm Carrie Wardle, and I'm the education manager at Idaho Public Television, and I have my awesome team here with me. We are here because we're excited to help support the libraries and laundromats program or laundromat literacy center, whatever you guys are calling those. I think Christina probably is sorry she ever reached out to us because she just asked for some Bright by Text bookmarks. And then in true Idaho PTV fashion, we were like, but we can do a whole bunch more. And then had like all these meetings and things. And so she's probably like, geez, I just wanted bookmarks, man. But if you weren't aware, Idaho Public Television, we have an entire education and outreach department, which not everybody knows about. And one of the things that we do in addition to obviously awesome PBS Kids programming is go out into the communities and provide support. We do story times at libraries and things like that. But when we heard about this program, we really were like, we felt like there were ways and that we had materials that you guys could maybe use in your library, in your laundromat literacy centers. And so we really wanted to help with that and offer our services. So I'll tell you, I'll share this document with you. Well, what we've put together, and this is not even this isn't everything, but we tried to, because the resources with PBS and PBS Kids are vast. But we tried to find things that we thought would be helpful to you guys and useful in your laundromat so that you didn't have to wade through all of the vast resources. We've put them together in a document that is not 100% finalized yet, but I'll share it with you. And our hope is that what we plan to do and what Stacy and Christina said might be best is that we share these resources out with you. And then we realize that the resources that you all have are very different. Some of you may be able to take this stuff and print it and use it and do your thing. And that's fine. You don't have to consult with us or ask to do that. We're sharing these resources with you. You're welcome to use them. Some of you, we realize, may not have the same amount of resources, and you may not even be able to print this stuff off. You may not have the resources to do that. And we would be happy to help with that and to provide you these resources. So let me share this document, and I will, sorry, I'm just copying the link here. I'll notify You guys are welcome to use anything here now. You'll just see that there is some highlighted stuff that says like QR codes, and we haven't got those yet. But oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know why my stuff is not working. There we go. Okay. And so we'll get a finalized copy of this, but you're welcome to take a look at this right now. I think the plan that we talked with Stacy and Christina about was maybe you guys already have a shared Google folder maybe that you're using, is that right? And we can set up a folder and put the resources, that these are resources in it for you as well within that folder, and then you guys can have access to this. But what I would say is, again, you're welcome to just use it and take it and go, or if you need us to help print or come up with the materials or order some of the things for you, please reach out. That's why there are other members of my team here. So the way that we do this is we have an education specialist that covers each region of the state. And so they would be your contact to reach out to if you want us to provide any of these materials, or if you have questions or you're looking. The other thing I would say is if you're looking for something specific, like, man, I really wish I had something, we probably have it and probably could find it for you. And so if you reach out to one of them, I'm sure they would be willing to help you with that. So I'm going to introduce them. I'm going to let them introduce them, and they'll tell you what they cover. And then maybe you guys, after you're done introducing yourself, if you would put your emails, my team, in the chat for these guys so that they have them and could do that. So Linnea, why don't we start with you?
Hi, I'm Linnea Pershnowski. I'm in regions 1 and 2. So I cover a little bit south of Riggins, all the way up to the Panhandle, and then west and east. And I will put my email in the chat. So
I heard the Boundary County person and Priest Lake, maybe. Linnea is your person there. And so she will send you her contact information. Ashley, why don't you go next?
Can everybody hear me? Okay, I'm Ashley Moritz, and I am the education specialist for the Southwest region of Idaho.
So Linnea covers the Boise, Caldwell, all the way to the Oregon border. Or did I say Linnea? Ashley. Sorry, Ashley covers Boise, Caldwell, Ada County, right over to the Oregon border. So Caldwell, I heard, was on here. So Ashley would be the contact person for that. And then Brady.
Hi, I'm Brady Kissel. I cover the South Central region of Idaho, so from Elmore to Cassia County. Do I say that right? I just learned it's not Cassia County. Cassia?
Cassia.
One of those.
Yeah, so she's Twin Falls, Jerome, Elmore County, Cassia. And then I'll tell you, those Eastern Idaho people, we haven't said your person yet, and I'm sorry, but we're in the process of hiring somebody for Eastern Idaho. As soon as we have them, we will pass that information along to Christina or Stacy so that they can share that information with you. In the meantime, if you want stuff, please, Brady doesn't even know I'm going to do this, but I'm volunteering her. Please reach out to Brady, and we'll coordinate between us and figure out how to get you stuff. But we should have somebody on in the next month or so, I'm hoping, that covers the 2 regions in Eastern Idaho, which would be Pocatello and in those areas. So yeah, that was really, we don't have like a formal presentation or anything. We mostly just wanted to know that we really were excited about this program. We feel like it's a pretty good fit, and we're hopeful that we can help you come up with, I know Christine is already offering Bright by Text bookmarks, but we manage Bright by Text as well. And so if you have events that you want in your community sent out via Bright by Text, we're the people who would do that. And then also having people sign up. And then, like I said, we just really would love to help support your program however we can. So we're happy to answer any questions if you have them now, but also you have our contact information. I'll throw mine in the chat in there as well. In case you have no idea who you're supposed to contact, you're welcome to reach out to me and I can direct you to the right person. But anyway, that's it. We just wanted to let you know that we're here as a resource.
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie and all et al. Anyone have any questions for public television folks? I know you probably haven't been able to click on everything yet, but on the document, but.
This is Lindsay from Chalice. I do have a quick question. I don't know anything about Write by Text at all.
Write by Text is a free texting service.
Okay.
Well, it's available for free for families and things like that. It's pretty cool. It's for parents of children pre-birth, 0 basically to age 8. And it is a national platform. And so what parents do is they register and then they give the age of their kids. And then throughout the month they're sent, they partner with us, they partner with several other child development places. So they might be sent, here's a fun activity you could do with your 18-month-old. Brady put a link in there. Thank you for that. Or they are also sometimes sent developmental milestones, but we can also send local messages. And we can target that by region. So if there was an event happening in your area and you wanted to reach the parents that are signed up for Write by Text in your area, we could send that out to just your, zip code or your city, or just kids that are age 5. We really have a lot of control to tailor those messages as well. And so, like I said, that's a free service. It's all translated into English or Spanish. So if the parent, it asks you what language you want when they sign up, and then it automatically translates everything into that language for them. So I think Christina has some bookmarks or something.
Well, not yet. I have the
She will.
app. Well, I do have the app, the postcards that are bilingual flip that
Okay.
to sign up for the app. So that's what's available in the ICFL marketplace. And I will show you guys in a minute when public television is done. But I don't have the bookmarks yet. You sent me the print ready materials. I just did one at a time.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So yeah, so if you want, you can get those from me. But if you want the bookmarks, you can also ask Carrie or one of your regional folks to send you the print ready, and you could print those off. Do they print well on like a standard like in-house copier, or do they need the professional? It looked like they printed well on standard.
Yeah, we've had them print well on a standard one, but we do have, and we order a bunch of them like on cardstock and have them all cut down nice. So again, if that's something that you guys want, you're welcome to let the education specialist in your area know, and we can help you with that. That would be to have the parents sign up. If you want information about how you can schedule stuff, how we can schedule stuff, like you have an event or you have something that you want to share out, reach out to me. I can put you in contact with she's not on here because she's the behind the scenes communication specialist that does the Write by Text for us. But anyway, that's what Write by Text is. And there's a link for you in the chat that you can kind of take a look as well.
Yeah, so the bottom line is that you want to try to get as many families in your service area signed up as possible so that your library can start using this as another avenue to reach those parents when you have something at the library. So I know many of you have asked, how do we get to those parents to let them know what's going on? And this will be a great tool, but only if we get parents signed up. So that can be a good push for you.
That is awesome. Yeah. Is there a way for me to, if they provided me with the information, that I could sign them up myself?
So we have, no, I mean, we can. So if you don't want to use a bookmark or whatever, we do have some sign up sheets that they can write their name and stuff, and then we can input that on the back end. Mm-hmm. So if you would prefer to have one of those, shoot me or your person an email. We can share those with you. We do that often, like at events where we have a table or whatever, we put that out and they sign up, and then we do it on the back end. So that's an option as well.
But not me as the librarian.
No, only because we are the ones who manage that on the back end. Yeah. And we certainly can tell you how many people are signed up from your area and things like that if you're ever interested in knowing that information. Okay. But you can't input it as a librarian.
That makes sense. We are on the tail end of our farmers market, but I think that is something that people would be very interested in getting.
Yeah, so Stacy's, comment was a good point. Probably starting with getting people signed up is where to start. And then once you have a pretty good following in your area, start sending out, we can start localizing and sending out events to your folks that are there.
Awesome.
Yeah, and for those of you who have been on our early learning support materials store before, we have replaced the Vroom app with the Bright by Text app. They're actually very similar in that they send out developmental tips via app and parents sign up. However, Vroom is just a little bit one removed, a little bit more. There's no local person to talk to, and they don't do the local texting customization. So once those Vroom apps were gone, that's when we decided to start printing the Bright by Text app postcards. And so, and I did put the link in the chat to our store, which this link will look the same, but just you probably saw that we have a new ICFL market that has all of our materials for like talking book service, idea collection, anything that we promote is in there, but this link will still take you directly to like our portion of the store. And then you can always filter if you want to see everything. You can filter by the type of material. Does that make sense? I can show you guys if you want. It's pretty much the same as the other store that you guys are used to, just has more options. Okay, great. Any other questions for public television folks?
I have just one. You have a really cool Daniel Tiger, and I see Arthur's classroom. Are those just backgrounds? Because they're so cool. All right. And Linnea, are you Polish?
My husband is.
Oh, cool. Tell him cześć.
I will. I will.
Great. Well, I think that some of the public television folks might hang out for a bit, but we're gonna keep going through our agenda, and you're welcome to stay as long as you want or leave whenever you need to. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for that great summary. So I did have on the agenda, it was going to be a welcome to its library partners and staff members as in plural. We haven't quite got the other one going quite yet finalized. So there's just the one that we already introduced, Julie at Boundary County. So they'll be getting a new center next week. So yay. I'm not sure what that, I think that brings us up to 19, I think. And then we still have the one in the basement that I believe is spoken for, but we're still trying to finalize. So stay tuned for that. And then the next thing was a check-in regarding signage and surveys. And then after that was an update about logo and slogan makeover. And I'm going to kind of smush those together because they're related. I'm going to let Stacy, we're going to sort of check in about surveys, nothing formal, just kind of a quick chat, see how it's going. But then the signage, what I wanted to touch base on was just that I think there's been some difficulties accessing the signs, the templates that we created in Canva, and we continue to have difficulty accessing them. We have to be off the network. And so, but the main point is that I know there's two libraries, Oneida, and gosh, I forgot the other one, that I was creating signs for them because it was an access issue with the Google Drive. So basically, I just want to make sure that everyone understands it's important to have a sign up, both for identifying the program, the slogan and the name, so we get some sort of recognition going on around the state, but also for our funders, because that's something we are held to, but also mainly for your library name, so that if somebody does, like the ideal is that they get interested in reading at the laundromat and then they go seek out the public library or something, or the school library perhaps. But if there's no sign saying that the literacy center is being provided by the library and there's no flyer saying, hey, come to our library for this program, then that connection doesn't even have a chance. So I've seen a couple of centers that had, well, really only one center that I saw that had no signage at all. So I just wanted to check in and see if there's ways that we can help you access that template that's been difficult, or make the signs for you, or just see if anyone had any questions or concerns on that end.
Just have to do it.
Well, and I will say that I know a couple people that some of the issues that are newer are that they aren't in laundromats. And so the signs are like confusing. Like, why are we putting up a sign? This is laundromats, and we're in a WIC center or a community center. And so that's why I wanted to address the slogan makeover. So another thought is we're sort of having an internal debate and wanted to see if you guys had any input about how to handle that. We love the laundromat imagery and the connection to the national movement of being in laundromats. But then does that mean we have one sign for those Idaho libraries that are in laundromats and have a different sign, maybe a different logo for those that are not, you know? So we've also talked about changing the title from, instead of Idaho Libraries and Laundromats, to Idaho Libraries and Literacy Centers, which is sort of generic, not as exciting, but it's more inclusive. We've thought about taking the current image, the logo with the machine, with the two kids around it, and like making it a little smaller, and maybe adding like a person with a stethoscope to show that it's maybe at a medical clinic, or a shelf of food to show that it's at a, you know, a food pantry, things like that. And then libraries could choose, maybe come up with a couple, and libraries choose what makes most sense. Or do we want to stick with something where it's cohesive and we all have the same name, the same imagery? This is where we're struggling. Anyone have thoughts on that? Have you seen, I know Lindsay's not in a laundromat. Who else? Don't think. Oh, Eastern Idaho guy, Stacy. He's not on here. He's not in a laundromat. He's in a community center.
Taste it, Burley.
Thank you. I told you I'm no good with names. Terrible.
Well, I think to increase the functionality of the program in and of itself, if programs like myself that aren't in the laundromat are the minority, then maybe I don't know what the work would look like on your end and the bandwidth that your staff has, but creating 1 and 2 off, it was probably much easier than having 2 completely different sort of slogans and programming completely separate. So I don't know. It sounds like I'm happy to put up and do whatever I can to facilitate the correct communication coming from our literacy center. So whatever I need to do, we will do. But I don't think that the physical laundromat machine would work on our end. Which isn't to say that I still think that maybe it should be the library's responsibility as well. You know, we could take on a little bit of responsibility here, right? Like give us all these amazing materials so we can come up with the
library's responsibility to create a sign, like if we kind of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like if you provide the templates like you did, I wasn't able to get onto the ones that you sent, but you know, just a more generic type for the one-offs that aren't going to be in laundromats, that might be easier for you guys and for us.
Like if we had the components for a sign, you know, we had the wording and we had different, and you could just pick and choose, and we could say, you know, here's some samples, and you could stick things in there and add your own logo as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it does seem to be, just from what now that I've met a few new librarians and other people in rural areas, we do seem to be the one-offs. It seems most of the people that are participating in this program have been able to set up in laundromats.
Well, I do think though that's part of what's been happening is the newer, some of the easy low-hanging fruit laundromats and libraries join right away. And then some of the harder, the communities that don't quite fit, right? Or like you were in a laundromat at first, but then things change. I think those are some of our newer people joining, you know, like Julie's going to be in a health center. Burley is in a community center. And then we have one that might be in another tribal community center. So it's not I do hear what you're saying. You are still one off. You're not the majority, but there's going to be more, I think. And so I think we need to have, I'm kind of imagining, like, wondering if we do something that's more like horizontal with like a washing machine here, a medical person here, a community, a food pantry here. And so it's like this. And
Like
then
all
it's this like,
encompassing.
yeah, Idaho libraries and literacy centers, learning in everyday spaces, something.
That's
It'll
cute.
be hard because you'll still need like your small logo for those small
Yeah.
spaces. So it might be that like Stacy's saying though, if all those components then though are individual graphics that you could grab for like a smaller version. Yeah, and I think we might just have to get it out of Canva and get Haley to put it in something else for us. That's because that's restricting for Stacy and I as well. We can't get in there and work unless we get off the network.
Is it so it's the physical software that's the issue, the Canva software?
I think it's the Canva software. You have to have an account, and then also the fact that not everyone can get into a Google Drive. I'm not sure if that's an issue, but I know in other parts of the world, Google can be an issue. So I think the double whammy.
For us, the state of Idaho has banned it. That's why we have to get off the network. So no government agency under the state of Idaho can access Canva without unplugging.
It's supposed to be a security risk. So
I think as far as like looking at like from the outsider, like the partner view. So if for some reason the partners had seen some coverage on the literacy centers or had visited a literacy center and we had more inclusive graphic for that, there would be more partners interested in it than just the laundromats. So I think looking forward, if we're looking for more partnerships for the centers, that would probably be the better way to go, especially because I guarantee you we would have a lot more partners if they thought they could get one. I think more people are interested in it than we think.
That's a good point. Yeah, and that reminds me that Caldwell was kind of thinking about like a barber shop, which is not something we have yet. So that's like another possible one-off down the road. So yeah, that's a good point, Monique.
So I'm going to throw in, we've been having troubles finding laundromats who first are staying open. There was one down that I was like, this is the perfect one. And then it closed. But a lot of them are complaining they don't have, or not complaining, but they don't have enough room to put this. But our food bank just moved into a nice big old LDS church building and there's plenty of room. And I know that they get a lot more visitors there than the laundromats. So that might be a better option for us just because we would be able to have a bigger reach there. So I like the idea of not being in a laundromat, especially since I took over this project from my boss and he said he talked to several and they all said no to him. So, and I just haven't got around to reaching out and doing that yet. It's on my list, I promise. But if I can do the food bank, done.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as much as I love the national model, I mean, that's something from the beginning that Stacy and I are always saying, like, this is a model that was created on the East Coast at big urban centers that there's things about it that we knew weren't going to quite work for Idaho being rural. And this wasn't quite as the one we were thinking. I mean, I can see it. We knew that there are some towns that like, they don't have laundromats, and so that by nature, it excluded those locations. And so I think like you guys are making some good points and that we just have to, as much as we want to be kind of tied to that national kind of movement, we also have to do what works for Idaho. And this sounds like what has to be the route. So, okay, well, that's good feedback. Stacey, anything else you want to add or, okay. So that was the signage. So I guess the whole point is like, I wanted to have something made over, some options to show you, but didn't get there. And so then it's like, well, should you guys even bother to put up signs if we're going to redo the whole logo? So I guess that's where I'm at. If you want to do some sort of temporary sign, just so there's some signage up, and then we'll start working with our graphic designer, Haley, and get something going this probably like more like November. I'm not going to promise anything in September and October. So So yeah, I think that, and if in the meantime, if you just want access to that sign in Canva, we could probably work through that issue if you, or we could handle 1 or 2 custom jobs, but right, Stacy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is to say that this space is brought to you by your local public library and the Idaho Commission for Libraries. So, I mean, that to me, for now, at least until we agree on, you know, we're going to do, I think if you can at least get those, you know, this space brought to you by or maintained by, because again, too, if people want to know if there's an issue, if they, you know, want to request certain materials, I mean, it's good that they know that the library is doing it, because again, that connection. And right now, super important that the library is making a good connection with the community, that they are doing positive work, that you are, you know, you're outside of just the library, and so that people can make that connection with you.
So can I just like write exactly what you just said and put it up? Cool.
Are you okay with that, Christina?
Sure.
At least for now, until we figure out our sign it.
And if you are in a laundromat, I do have the images, like the individual logos. I have those on a network drive that I can email to you. I just don't have the full on signs. I actually
can
have
we put them in the
just,
Google Drive, Christina? Can we just put them in the Google Drive?
I think they are.
I think they are too. So I put a link to the Google Drive in the chat. If you haven't looked at the Google Drive yet, check it out. There's lots of stuff in there. And this artwork is one of the things that's in there.
Yeah, and I think the signs actually, it's just the signs are there. They're just not in an editable format. So you can grab the verbiage, you can grab, you know, the look and mimic it. But if you do want help, just email me. I know I have the sign for you, Lindsay, at Chalice, and then Oneida just sitting there on Canva, and I need to go in and download them and email them to you. So okay. I will work on that.
I put up just a little sign that says, it just says, "Do you love this book? Come to the Chalice Public Library. You probably have the next in the series." And we had a kid come in and get another Wimpy, Diaries of a Wimpy Kid, and it was the most thrilling day of my career at the library so far.
Oh,
so, yes.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yay. See? Yeah.
It does work. I think it really does work.
Yeah, and one other thing I wanted to mention about the centers is, like, I know this might be a limitation on the laundromat end. They might be saying, hey, don't put a bunch of stuff on our walls. We don't want a bunch of stuff on the table. But I have noticed that some of the centers, you know, they could use some, like, and Stacey will get mad at me probably for saying coloring sheets or something, but something on the table for the kids to do, or so, you know, and some program flyers, and, like, you know, some of them are just the books and the table and the letter magnets, of course. You can add stuff of your own. I know, like, you guys aren't swimming in money, but, like, if, you know, that's part of why we were trying to send some of those, the handouts and stuff, like the where's my words? The big books, the big booklets that we sent. What are those?
Oh, like that have pages of books on them?
No. Oh. Okay, so remember when we did the mailing, the PBS Kids, man, I should have gone downstairs and looked at this stuff before. Right around when we sent all the STEAM stuff, the STEM stuff, there's also, I think that's, there was like a booklet. Oh, Sesame Street. Do you guys remember the bilingual Sesame Street things I sent you guys? Okay, that's what I was trying to say. PBS Sesame Street. Anyhow, I was trying to send you guys some stuff that you could put out that, you know, might be educational and interested for the kids. But anyhow, I just think you should feel like if the laundromat will allow you, or your partner will allow you, you can customize that space some more. That's all I want to say.
I'd love to expand on that just a little bit, on just kind of like some of the stuff that we brought to the story time specifically, as some of the items we just weren't going to leave at the center, or they weren't ideal for leaving at the center. So we bring the one that with the little pieces that go on the magnetic whiteboard, and then you can drop the pieces on a track and they fall down into a little like a little bin on the bottom, and so we bring that with us, and the kids really like that as kind of like an incentive to get through a couple stories and then play with the item and then maybe do another story. And then we've also brought the another one we got, I cannot remember the name of it, but it has little pieces inside and you can make houses and stuff out of it. I wish I would remember the
magnetic board where you drag pieces with the, okay.
So we'll
this
bring
is
that
all the
one out
lakeshore. Okay.
Right,
This
the
is
lakeshore stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we bring those with the story time itself just to supplement, so that just
Oh, I
like
see.
we kind of just bring some stuff with us to kind of make that more of a like enticing time to be at the library or the laundromat, and then we can have that conversation of we also have weekly programs at the library, so we're only doing
Right.
this here once a month, but if you go there you get to do the other fun stuff with the other kids. And then
you guys are doing story time at the laundromat?
Yeah, we are.
That is cool. That is a cool idea.
And then we also have had them do the kit. We've had the kits before. I think we have one more that we're going to try out with the learning mats. We just know that some of them might need some pieces, so we're turning those into kits. But the thing with the kits with our laundromat is that they kind of dug through. If we leave them out, they'll dig through them and like tear apart pieces and stuff. So the staff themselves got involved with, if you would like a kit, we'll go get one from the back, and they kind of let all the staffing know that they could go get that, and that was important enough to them to provide that in a way that made more sense to the location. So they don't want us to get rid of the kits ever. They just want to work with us to make sure that we can make sure they get home in one piece and don't leave a bunch of trash everywhere and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those are just like working with the partner, I guess, is like what I would recommend, and seeing what works for them. Make sure you get them in the loop for things when you add them in. Like, does this item on the table work for your location? And then if it's something that you think is just better to hand out, like when you do drop-ins, if you're not doing the program yet, but you're dropping by to check on the books, maybe bring them at that time and see if anybody's there and hand them out then, or talk. We always have conversations when we're there, when we drop them off, just stopping in. Yeah,
and
the
Monique,
only other
those
thing.
Well, I was just going to clarify, those are your make and take kits when you say the kits?
Yeah, so we did the Delta Dental kits that we had, and then we're hoping to do some more as we continue on. But we could do it, honestly, any kit that we've ever made, or any item that maybe didn't go so, like any program that we sell program supplies, we can put into kits at any time. And that's just kind of our outreach model, is to have some of those sometimes for locations we go to that need them.
So do you have a sign like on the table in the center saying, hey, if you want a kit, see the staff member at the laundromat and ask? Is that what, or did the staff just see kids?
Right. So there was one staff member in particular that just would see, when they saw kids in the center, they would ask them if they wanted a kit. So that's how they solved it on their end for us. At first, we thought everyone was just taking them so fast, but then we realized they had to move them. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, and so thank you, Monique, for bringing that up. That was that was on the agenda, was to just, we're going to get back to surveys in a second, but since you brought it up, I did just want to see, if anyone else had feedback on the Lakeshore Learning STEM stuff, or the other mailings of sort of just materials that I've come across that are free from other organizations that I then ordered and then shipped back out to you. It's not something I can do regularly, to order stuff from Sesame Street and then ship it back. But if you like them, I can let you know how to order them straight for yourselves. And those are all free. And I think I ordered 50 at a time. And there's like a limit, but you can get like up to 50 at a time. And then also same with like the Delta Dental. I don't know, Stacy, if that wasn't just a one-time offer, right? Can we, like, they can direct request those from Delta Dental down the road too. So I just wanted to check in on all of those things to see if anyone had thoughts for the future on those, or what didn't work sounds like Monique doesn't leave them there, but brings them as a special incentive for her story time programming. But others I know leave them in the center all the time. So was that a nice addition? Was it people just destroyed them? Did all the pieces just go walking away, or are they okay?
Some walked away, but on the whole, they're good.
We had a request specifically for the one that had the pieces that dropped to not leave it at the center from our partner. So that's why we bring it in separately.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was something I tried to pay attention to, and it was kind of hard to find stuff that didn't have a lot of small pieces, or like if this one piece walked away, then you pretty much couldn't play with the rest of it. It's harder than you'd think, because I mean, there's lots of kids like stuff with lots of pieces. Hi, Kathy. Oops, she's still joining.
I would just add that I had more of the STEM materials walk away than I've had trouble with books walking away so far.
That might be something to consider, is what Monique was saying with maybe we don't leave them there all the time. Maybe it's something that you do take in because for your story times. And for those of you who are more new, that was at least a monthly visit to do a story time or some other kind of programming at the library was supposed to be part of this program. We just started off on the wrong foot because we started in February of 2020 and then COVID hit. So we if you weren't aware of that piece of it, then yes, that is the intent, is that you're going out and doing some kind of programming at least once a month. If you can go twice a month, that's even better, but we understand the staffing and all that. So
Yes, okay. So we'll move along then, because we only have about 10 minutes left. Kathy, someone in a minute will find there's a document that was shared from Idaho Public Television of some free material that you can request or you can print off for yourself. So one of us will find it and put it back in the chat in just a second. But I think, Stacey, you want to touch base real quick about the surveys and just see how that's going.
yeah, and I think that Idaho Public Television's document is still sort of in draft form. I think they were going to try to get that finished for us, and then we'll put it in the Google Drive. So in the Google Drive, there is an Idaho Public Television folder, and so we'll put it in there. There's also in the Google Drive all of that survey information that allows you to have your folks give you feedback about several things in one survey. One of those things is, when are you here? So that you can try to figure out a good time to go and visit. Another is just feedback about the materials that are there. And we developed QR codes. It's in English and Spanish. We have a print version. So we did that in a lot of different ways. Christina said she checked on our end on the job form, and there were no responses in there. So I don't know if people are just not getting any survey responses, or if some of you have not put a survey out yet. I know Lindsay said you were going to close your survey after a little bit of time, but what's feedback about that survey? And then should we just scrap it? I don't know.
I think people fill out surveys more frequently if someone's there asking them to. I don't know that many people voluntarily fill out surveys very quickly. So maybe when I go to the laundromat, when there are people there, I'll say, hey, can you take a minute right now while I'm filling out this, when I'm restocking the books, and just fill out the form.
I was thinking the same. I know part of the survey goal is to get them to turn it in at the library so that they come to the library and then pick up the book, I believe. Yes. Okay. So I don't believe that we've actually tried to get anybody to fill out the survey during a program, or at least hand it like straight to them. You know, like, here's this survey, you can get a free brand new book. So we can definitely make a different effort on that end. For now, I believe it's a QR code on one of our tables or one of our pamphlet holders or something like that. So
Yeah,
that
and
could
I
be part
think
of the problem.
I would be okay with you taking a handful of books in, and anybody that fills out a survey on site, handing
Just
them a
giving it
book.
there.
I think
Okay.
so.
Okay,
I mean, I
great.
don't know what
That would
Christina thinks,
change the
but
game for
I
me.
think that would be fine. I have plenty of books down there and we can replenish
Yeah,
for
I
you.
would do that.
That's great. Then I think we can make a better effort at that and probably get some results on the spot.
Yeah, and for our new folks, we have some hardcover books that were left over from a program. One of them is a Mo Willems book, and one of them is We Don't Eat Our Classmates, that we just provided to libraries to use, because on the survey it says, come in, use this code word, we give you a book. So if you're new and you haven't gotten those books yet, reach out to Christina or I, and we can get those shipped to you sometime within the next couple of weeks. It's a super busy time of year for us right now, trying to launch all these programs. So it might be a little while, but we will get them to you.
Really quick, because of the nature of the so we're in Lemhi Social Services, which is essentially we cannot do any drop-bys. We cannot take any information from the people who are there because of a lot of FOIA and or not FOIA, HIPAA and stuff like that. And so maybe I need to look for another place for it to be. I don't think I'd be allowed to come in and do story times. It's just not, that's just not the function. It's kind of a, they almost use it as a crisis center as well. It's locked, you can't just go in. So maybe I need, lots of kids are using it and I know, and they're coming in and telling me about it, but I don't know if maybe I should address going somewhere else. I don't know.
If it's working, don't change.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, each community is going to be different. Like if that's the most important need there, I think that's fine.
Okay.
And especially if there's not another option that you think is just way out of the water better, you know?
I'm
You
just
could keep
always
your eye
worried
open,
about, I'm just always concerned that we're not addressing the original needs of how the grant was written. If that makes sense, like the criterion and what's allowed and what's not allowed. But I'm a new director, so I understand, but it's working. I can't like just drop in ever. So, and I pretty much can only go in and do all my refresh and stuff like that when they don't have any clients in. So that's kind of where we're at with it, but.
Yeah, but you could still leave something for them
Sure.
to share with what's going on at the library, and maybe they'll start coming in. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know Chalice a little bit, and I don't know where your clinic is compared to the library, but if they're getting to the clinic, they're not too far from the library. Am I right?
No, correct. No, not at all. And we have all of our programming information up there. They know when all of our story times and everything like that is, but okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
And if you do find another place in town that's even better, you could eventually, you know, like now the K-Ready grants have the mini grant option that includes up to 5,000 to get the center components, either as a one-stop shop where you can shop around, and you could customize something for another place, you know, next year and have two centers. So that's always an option.
Okay.
And actually, since we're almost out of time, that was something that we were going to touch base on, but I don't think we have an update for you because the K-Ready grants deadline got moved a little bit. So I was thinking we might have some announcements, but I don't think we do, right, Stacey?
No, we did not rank grants over the weekend. So we will be doing that in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so normally we have a lot of time for updates. We don't have hardly any time for updates today, but I'm happy to stay on, especially if anyone has a concern or a question that they want to ask after everyone left, or if someone has, like, in the next 5 minutes wants to share some really cool success story, like we heard Lindsay's wonderful moment. If there are any other moments of success that you want to share, we can end on an up note. We have a couple minutes. We can do that.
Thank you for supporting us so kindly. It really is good.
Well, and I'm sorry that
I'll-
we've been a little, it's been a little more haphazard than I think we wanted it to be.
I'll just say that we have a new partner, or a new, I'm sorry, staff member that we're onboarding onto the Laundromat. She wasn't able to make it to this meeting today, but she will be in the future. So she'll be getting caught up on all of this from today and just moving forward with our project here. She's our newest youth services youth service outreach librarian. There we go. That's what her title is officially. And she is working really hard. She's got some ideas already, and I'm really excited to kind of have her be lead on this project moving forward. So very excited. So you'll meet her hopefully next time.
Great. And I'll just say real quickly, I know some of you guys, as your subscriptions ran out, and at the time, a couple months ago, you said you were fine on books. If that ever changes, we have tons of books downstairs from this program. And I would just suggest either you could do it as straight as an email to Stacy and I, or if you feel like the underserved application is easier because you can put in age ranges and language requests. It's a little more spelled out for you. You can do it that way, and it won't count towards one of your outreach limitations, the 2 per school year or the 1 per summer, because it's going to be a much smaller request, is my guess anyhow. So if you do run out of books, let us know. We don't want shelves without books on them. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up, and I'll stay on at least. I don't know if Stacy can for a few minutes and see if anyone has any issues. So